Hey, I am Andrea, and we're going to talk about some questions I got asked on my Instagram story. So let's get right into it. The first question I got was, what season of my life am I currently in? Right now I'm in a season of hard work and patience. I'm putting in effort and showing up, and there's things that I want so bad in so many areas of my life, in fitness and health and relationships, in my work, in my faith. A lot of times I hope, can y'all hear that? Anyways, I want to see results now. Like every other person that's part of humanity, we want to see things happen right away. Right now, I'm learning to enjoy the hard part. I'm learning to enjoy the annoying part of this. The annoying part of, is this even worth it? Is this even gonna work? I don't even know if I should keep doing this. I'm trying to find the good parts and finding gratitude in being frustrated. Question number 2. What did I used to believe about success that I no longer believe? I used to think of success of how much I would get from something. How much do I get from this? How much, whether it's money, friends, relationships, events, company, whatever that is. Validation, even, especially validation. Now I realize it's from how much you give, from how much you give into those other areas of your life. Your relationships are successful based on what you give. Your friendships are successful based on what you give. Your work is successful based on what you give. That is how I define success, is how much am I giving into something, not how much am I getting out of it. The more you pour into something, the more it's gonna pour back into you tenfold. Absolutely. When was the last time you started over? In February, I hit a really low point. That time of year, if you don't know, my daughter passed away in February of 2022. That time of year gets really, really tough. This year was particularly tough because it was the first time where I wasn't consistently around my core group of friends. This year I really sunk into a low, and I was working with a online trainer who didn't take into account slowly working into things, which is a big part of the reason I started my training company. That being said, I was immediately put on calories that were way too low for me, set me into an awful binge and restrict cycle for months. I felt like crap. I felt like shit every single day. I was literally having to skip work because I was so down and so out of energy, both mentally, emotionally, physically. At the end of the month, at the time I hadn't been taking my medicine consistently, and I hadn't been going to therapy the way that I normally had been. And so all of the things made sense of, okay, why am I feeling this way? This is why. I started over towards the end of February when I finally got back in with my therapists. I got my medication squared out, and that was like it was a brand new start for me, because I was no longer worrying about, okay, it created a lot of pausing in my fitness and in my health and in my relationships and my friendships. It was a lot of burnout for sure. It gave me clarity, and it also gave me the clarity of, this is not how you do things. You do not go from 0 to 100. And that was my starting over, was I went from 0 to 1 in February, 0 to 1. How do I balance giving myself grace and being disciplined? For me, discipline is part of the balance, because my entire life I am trained to give myself grace. I am trained to do the fun things, eat the fun things, do the lazy thing, do the thing that I am programmed to currently do. Some people, you might be someone who your entire life you have no problem with the discipline part of it, but you have trouble with the balance part of it. Mine's the other way around. How I do both. Grace, giving myself grace, is no longer letting myself off the hook. It's acknowledging, why did I do this? Why did I act like this? Why did I make this decision? Learning from it and moving on. Adding in that discipline, doing what you said you were going to do, even when it's hard, is for me what that balance is, because for so long, that is not what I was doing. What I don't think people talk about enough is what it actually takes. Everyone, you and me, are on the same playing field. I am on the same playing field as someone who I choose to see is 10 levels higher than me. Someone who I deem to see so much more successful in a place that I want to be. Me, you, and that person are all on the same level playing field. What makes us different is the decisions we make. That's it. No one is luckier than you. No one's luckier than me. I'm not luckier than anyone else. We all have the same playing field. It is up to you to figure out what to do with it. What I would tell my past and what I would tell my future self. My past self is that suffering does not have to be extreme. I lived my life in extremes from the moment that I was a child. I was either the happiest kid or I hated my life and was attempting suicide. I was either in very calm parts of my life and happy and everything was great in college, or I was in manic episodes. These small discomforts are worth it. Just because I'm in a season of no longer being constantly uncomfortable, because for so long I was. For so long I was used to constantly trying to survive. From the age of probably 12 until about 22, I was just trying to survive. Now, from 23, now 24, it's scary to be in a position where things are good and I'm content. And I start to lose purpose because I'm like, I'm not suffering right now. What's going on? What is my, am I doing anything? That's what I would tell my past self, is just because you are not currently suffering does not mean nothing is happening. My current self, future me, would tell, what my future self would tell me, take time to remember how lucky you are. That to pour into the friendships and the relationships that I have and that I've made and that I've had over the last 10 years and the ones that I'm making now. Because those connections, your community, is what makes everything worth it. The people that you have around you, those people are gonna love you no matter what, yes, but they can fade if you let them. Make it your fault. Make it your fault that your relationships aren't where you want them to be, because then you can do something about it. Thanks for watching. I will be back soon.